Welcome. Today we're going to have a quick talk about which is the best off-grid generator for your situation. We're going to be looking at the GT range, the GT 4000, 6000 and 8000 ESI. Now the ESI stands for electric start silenced inverter. So all of these have the remote start fob that can work from up to 50 meters away. All of them have the silence casing with baffling on the inside to keep the volume down. And all of them are inverter based to protect your electronic appliances. So which one to go for? In short, have a think about this. If you're off-grid and you've got a battery pack that needs charging, a bigger machine will allow you to charge that faster. For our personal situation, we've got a GT 4000 and we've dialed our off-grid inverter back to only take 10 amps of current from that at one time. For other users, you might have a huge bank of batteries for off-grid that you need to charge. You might find that the GT 4000 is more than enough to do that, but you need to have it running for twice as long. Whereas if you go to a GT 6000 or an 8000, you can up the charging rate and it will charge in a short amount of time. All three of these machines have the two-wire start function. So again, that's for off-grid users. When you're thinking about a Victron system or an Outback or whatever you've got, it can remote start the generator. So when your battery packs get down, you don't have to do anything. It would automatically start, run for a certain amount of time, and then shut off to protect your batteries. Cool feature. All three of them have the remote start fob, which can work for up to 50 meters away. They've got USB outlets on them, and they have a 12-volt output as well. So thinking about the GT 4000, we'd say that this is for small to medium-sized off-grid users. It will run a fridge, freezers, can charge off-grid batteries depending on what your current needs are for that. You can run washing machines, dryers, air conditioning units. What I'd say though is depending on your solar system, it may be that you have to think about whether you can run all those things at one time. So if you're running a vacuum cleaner, you're running a microwave and you're trying to charge your batteries, it might be too much for the GT 4000. That said, if you're smart about it and you want to do one at a time, that's one way of saving a few dollars and keeping the cost down. If you go to the GT 6000 and the 8000, they're more designed for medium to large size houses. So if you've got a setup where you've got 20 odd panels and you've got a huge bank of lithium ion, but you've got a whole week's worth of rain, actually you're going to need some reasonable current to charge that big bank up and keep your batteries safe. So the GT 6 or 8000 may be the machine for you. The neat thing about the 6 and 8000 machine is the 32 amp single phase outlet. So that means that you can draw a whole heap of current off that one output really fast. So again, thinking about a situation where you might have batteries that are down very low, but you still have household chores that need to be done. You're running your 32 to 15 amp adapter and you've got it hooked onto your house. These machines have huge capacity to run a lot of appliances at once. So for anyone that's new to off-grid, one of the things I'd say that's really helpful is doing a wattage calculator. So you're thinking about which generator is going to be right for you, but you're not entirely sure. Go around your house and have a look at your appliances. Look at the back of the microwave. What does it say? Is it 1500 watts? Is it 2000 watts? So if it was 2000 watts for a microwave and you're going to use it on a regular basis, you had a GT 4000, that's half your capacity gone running that one appliance. Equally so, the other side of that is if you're just using the generator to charge the batteries and you can isolate it to just charging your batteries, and you've got a 5 kilowatt off-grid system, actually you may not need the bigger units. So it's working out which is going to be best for you. Thinking about how to calculate wattage, there's going to be some things around your house, so you might have a heat pump that has how many amps on it it draws rather than wattage. The basic guide for working out watts from amps is this. In New Zealand, we have 230 volts at the wall. So if you put a multimeter on your wall socket, which I'm not advising you do, but if you did, you would find that there's 230 volts there. 1 amp at 230 volts equals 230 watts. So on the bigger scale, if we said we had a heater that drew 10 amps worth of current, we'd say it's 230 watts at the wall times 10 amps equals 2300 watts of current. So that's one way we convert from amps to watts and to help you with your wattage calculator. Again, thinking about the situation where possible, it's neat to have a little bit more room in your generator than what you need. So if you think you're going to have 4000 watts worth of current that you're going to need to draw on a regular basis, it may actually be that it's better to go to a 6 or an 8000 machine. So from a Proline perspective, these machines have been incredibly reliable. From my personal side, it's nice knowing when you sell a machine that you're going to get a phone call saying, hey, I love this thing. It's working really well. I'm glad I didn't spend the money on that other machine. That's the awesome call to have. And again, when you talk to people years down the track, and they're still having a fantastic run, the machines aren't coming back to us, it's got to be a good sign. Go with the GT range, it's well worth it. And again, in the worst possible case scenario, if something did go wrong, all the spare parts are here in New Zealand, which is fantastic. If you still have questions around which off-grid generator is going to be right for you, make contact with us, we'll talk it through and give you some options. Thanks for your time, thanks for watching.